Hey everyone, it's Coco, and guess what? It's time. We've got our first ever submission to Wata for our first video game here. The video game is Spawn on the Game Boy Color. Really excited for you guys to see this, to hear about the process a little bit, and see what the grade was. Here it comes. All right, guys, let's get right into it here. So I sent my game off to Wata here a couple of months ago, really, and I wanted to explain a little bit about Wata, what the process was before we get into the actual graded part of the game. Some collectors maybe haven't gotten a graded game before. I know I had some apprehension in doing so because I wasn't familiar with the company and the process seemed like it might be, is it worth it? Things of that matter. So essentially, Wata is one of the leaders in the field in grading video games. They grade from Nintendo, Sega, Super Nintendo, GameCube, handheld games, you name it, they probably grade it. And essentially, it gets a grade, and that usually helps kind of determine a better value if it's in really great shape. So to submit a game, it's a lot easier than I thought, really. So what I did here was I just had to choose that my game was on the Game Boy Color. I choose my game here, which here's a picture of the game for reference for you guys. Then you have a couple options to choose from here. Is your game sealed? Is it complete in box? Is it just a loose cartridge? Mine was sealed. You declare a value on it, so you can declare a value. And really, the only other thing that you have to choose are some additional options here, and then how quickly you want the turnaround time to be. So their standard is 90 business days, which is $60 for a sealed game. 45 days costs just $25 more, which is the option that I went with. And then you can also have it in 18 business days and get it for, quite a bit more. I thought it was worth it for the extra 25 bucks to get it back in half the time. Then you can also choose if you want like a deep badge or some light cleaning and some things of that, nature, but I chose not to opt to, for those things for my very first time. So all you would do from here is you would add it to queue, which would essentially add it to your cart, kind of like Amazon, right? And then when you're all done, if you're submitting one game or more games, than one, you would go through and add them all, and then you would pay. You pay, and then you print your invoice, and then all you have to do is safely package up your game, include the invoice, and ship it off to Wata. Wata will then receive it, and then you're able to track it from within their website to be able to see from start to finish the entire process. So when they've received it, they take some initial photos to let you know that they've gotten it, and potentially for their records as well. And then they let you know that it's in the grading process. Once it's been graded and it's been put into its holder, they will update the grade on the website, so you'd be able to go in and see that your game has been graded. You would be able to see what the grade is. And then once they're done kind of cataloging everything, they ship it back to you. They let you know that it's been shipped. The process was overall very easy, and that was surprising because, I was one of the people that said, oh, I don't know if I want to grade a game. Is it too hard? What all goes into it. So it was very easy, in my opinion, very worth it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into actually taking a look at the game here. Why not? So let's hide this for a moment, and I'm going to bring up the box. So here's the box they sent it back in, and it's got plenty of packaging to make sure that my game was handled safely and securely here. So here's the game, and before I reveal, we're going to get all this stuff off of here. Again, this was my very first game. I had high expectations for the game because it was in immaculate condition. I was expecting at least a 9. I would have been upset if I got anything lower than a 9. But as you can see here, I was very happy to see a 9.8 A double plus on my first graded game. So excited about it. It looks so good in the holder. It's going to display well. There's even a couple of little things like here they've got the Nintendo logo, if you can see that. They've got a little Game Boy Color on the side. So I mean it looks incredible. The 9.8 is the overall grade of like the game, the box, everything like that. The A double plus is the grade on the seal itself, so how well it's maintained its original seal, which is called an H-seam seal from Nintendo here. So I mean, I couldn't be happier with the way that this turned out. The grade just looks so great. Very happy with it. Um, the other thing that Wata does is that they track all of the different games that have been graded in their database, so that you can go in and see, well, how many spawns have been graded, how many tens are there of this particular game, to see how your game stacks up against all the other games that have been graded through Wata. So, for example, we've got this Wata, what they call a population report. And when you go to the population report, you can just go find your game. And you can see this says it hasn't been updated since August 1st. They take a couple of months to update their population reports. So they probably update them a couple times a year. But at the time of filming this, my game is not included in here. And there have been 7 total graded copies of Spawn on Game Boy Color that are sealed. One of them, the lowest being a 7.5, the highest being a 9.8 A double plus, which what happens to be what mine is here. So that means that there are two 9.8 A double pluses, and mine's one of them. So this is the highest graded copy of Spawn that currently exists with Wata. It's got a twin somewhere else in the world. But yes, this is population 2, so there's 2 that'll exist of this particular grade. So I couldn't be happier. And I know some people will probably comment and ask about value. It does up the value quite a bit to have, quite a higher grade. So, if I'm not mistaken, the last time I checked, a sealed copy of this game was probably selling for about 450 USD, maybe 500 on a good day. I did see that there was a couple of sales of these graded copies, like on eBay in the past couple of years. The most recent one, I believe, was the 9.4, if I'm not mistaken, and that went for about $1,300 US. This obviously is a higher grade, and it also, a year later, the video game market has changed a little bit. So, I would expect this to command around maybe $1,400 to $1,500, maybe more, but that's not really the important part to me. The important part to me, obviously, is the fact that my game will stand the test of time. It will be in an awesome case, and not only that, it's going to display really well here as part of my collection. And I know as an investment, down the line that it's very safe. And I can say with confidence that I have the highest graded copy, at least right now, of Spawn on the Game Boy Color, which is really cool. So let me know in the comments if you guys have any questions. If you enjoyed the content, please make sure to like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Coco. See you later.